two main factors. The first one is a hard work. More than 2 decades of scientific work, vision. I think the vision of a man, and in the person of the Director General of IITA, Dr. Sangiga, because by creating the business incubation platform, he had a vision to create a platform that can serve as a bridge between the research and the market, and to interact with the private sector. And they've started working, incubate, and we look forward to see the BIP to become like a tech transfer office at a point for the organization to make sure Aflasafe is just one of the products that we have here in IITA. There are more products in the pipeline, and we look forward to partner with more organizations to reach that objective. So I think it's very important to appreciate that. I would like to applaud the vision, this vision, for the director of the institute to make this happen. But now, what are we talking about here when you talk about Aflasafe technology transfer? It's very important. And through the creation of the business incubation platform, IIT set up a program with it to help take Aflasafe out with the private sector. They give us two main objectives, two main deliveries. We need to make 100,000 hectares of groundnut and maize covered by Aflasafe by 2020. The second one is to ensure that we have a country covered by technology transfer to really make Aflasafe available in different countries. And I'm sure that if in the midterm, maybe the next year, the DG asked me, where are you? And I cannot tell him that, I've really covered already 7 countries. I think I'll be in trouble. So we have 11 countries. We have already 2 countries covered. This is the 3rd one. And we expect to have by June to have 2 more countries covered by tech transfer technology out. Today we are seeing harvesting here, but it's not just something that happened, sudden happened. We went through a process. And it's important to mention that our process is really comprehensive, and to ensure that we pick the right partner that will work with us. First of all, we started with a strategy to help us to understand, especially this product, the market. Looking at the market, looking at the feasibility studies to produce, to distribute. Because each time you talk to the private sector, they want to say what we need to give them figures to show them the profitability, to show them the market, to show how they can set up. We did this work, and we moved to another step where we organize like investor forum. We present these opportunities to a range of investors. You have the private companies, you have also the public sector, enabling actors as well. They look at the figures, they ask their questions, they do their maths, and they move to the next step where they express their interest to really manufacture and distribute Aflasafe. We went through a due diligence process to go to all those who apply, to select partners that strategically meet our objectives, and to make sure that this product can be available in the field, in the market. The next step is for them to really submit the business plan. You want, how do you, and what is your strategy? We evaluate the business plan submitted by the investors, and through an advisory board, very competent, and we concluded, select a partner, we negotiate and transfer. And today is the signing of this. It's very important to mention because it's not something that started in March 2017. So it was a rigorous process that we went through. I would like to give you some figures. Look at the investor forum in Lagos. where we have different partners who were around the table where present the opportunity to them. They react and all those kind of things. They were there. There are a lot of actors that were in that. When we finished, we came up with, based on the analysis, some short list of investors, potential investors, either in the manufacturing, distribution, enabling actors as well, that we need to work with. We asked these partners to come up with their business plan to submit. It happened. We moved to the next step. And now today we select obviously as I just said, and they are ready to sign. You can still, shy away and run. IITA can do the same. But when you sign it today, it's important to mention that it's not just a signing. We have a very clear target, deliverable for the manufacturing and distribution partners. It's very important for us. Question of performance. I assure you the presence of the Director General and all our colleagues here to show you that we're committed with you. Again, I would like to thank you for coming here, and we'll move to the next step in this ceremony. Thank you very much. The agenda, I think, would give the floor to the remarks for the Deputy Director General of Partnership and Delivery, Dr. Ken Dashel, for his remarks.
Yeah, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Abdu, thank you very much for that excellent introduction. And my remarks are going to be different than yours. Of course, I don't want to repeat what you said. But I do want to recognize two of the outstanding scientists that worked very hard to develop the Aflasafe technology specifically for Nigeria. Dr. Ranajit and Dr. Ranajit, an IITA scientist, and Dr. Peter Kote, USDA Agriculture Research Service scientist based in Arizona. They formed a partnership, a team, probably 10 years ago, and have worked on this day and night, literally, to come up with the product that we call Aflasafe. But what I wanted to mention was, what does Aflasafe do? What is Aflasafe? How many of you in the room consider yourselves to be at least fairly knowledgeable about aflatoxin? You could raise your hand. Yeah, Stella, you can raise your hand, I'm sure. Yeah. So familiar with aflatoxin. So let me just give you the short version. There's a fungus called Aspergillus flavus that attacks many crops. But two of the main ones are maize and groundnut. It lives in the soil and it somehow attacks the grain of maize and attacks the grain of groundnut. And when it's growing, just doing its natural growth, it produces a toxin, aflatoxin. And toxin is one of the most carcinogenic substances known to man. And it can, well, in the long run, for adults, it causes liver cancer. In fact, if you know someone with liver cancer, there's a good chance that's how they got it. But also what it does, it retards the growth of children in a big way. And that's the subject. Okay, so let me continue with that story. That's what naturally in the out strength of this Aspergillus flavus. Some would produce a lot. Me find good strain. Is everybody with me? So the good strain is what became and is now Aflasafe. And so the scientists found, have the method for producing this good strain in the trillions and trillions and trillions. And they coat that good strain sorghum seed. To eat. It eats that sorghum. So we put that on the field around flowering time for either groundnut or maize. And what happens is the farmer puts this out in a very small amount. But it's enough to allow this good fungus to attack the maize and the groundnut before the bad fungus gets there. Are you with me? So the good guys get there before the bad guys. And when the bad guys come, there's no more room for them. They can't even attack. They can't, because they're already crowded out by the good guys. Now those good guys multiply and live their life like any good fungus, but they do any the toxin. And so farmers can now harvest their groundnut and their maize with no fear. It's going to be good. And if you look at this diagram here, there's some pictures of maize and groundnut. And something like this one here, it's obvious something's wrong here. You wouldn't want to eat this. But look at this beautiful maize here. By looking at it, we really actually don't know whether it has aflatoxin or not. So this product has, when used by farmers, will ensure that they have grains that are safe to eat. This magic of this good fungus continues to work even after you harvest it. You put it in storage. The good fungus continues to work to block out the bad guys. So this is the story of what Aflasafe is. And for me, for me and many of us, there are two major things that are the is vastly improved health of the farm families that use Aflasafe. Because these farm families will keep their maize and groundnut for eating throughout the year. And it's well known. It's not as if I'm dreaming this. That's what farmers do in Nigeria. And the farmers that have been using Aflasafe, they report that they're really motivated to keep their own grain because they know it's good. They won't go to the market and buy some maize or groundnut. They don't know whether it's really contaminated or if it's okay. So there's a huge health implication on the farm families. There's also a big impact on some industries in Nigeria. There are many industries that require high-quality maize and groundnut. These would be industries like the cornflake industry, or the baby food industry, or the poultry industry. All of these industries, if they get maize or groundnut that have aflatoxin, well, in poultry, it kills the chickens. In the baby food industry, the grains are rejected. They have to be tested before they're put into the product. And then there's cost involved in all this rejection. So Aflasafe is helping these industries to now be profitable and successful in Nigeria. And yes, industries that are trying to import similar products. Finally, another thing that is having a huge impact, actually it's not having a huge impact yet, but we believe it will in the future. And that is to revive what anybody who's my age or older can remember is the groundnut pyramids in Kano. Nigeria used to be the #1 exporter of groundnut in the world, making millions and millions of dollars every year exporting groundnut all over the world, and valued as high-quality groundnuts. Now, Nigeria exports 0 groundnuts because it has the importers have a fear that the groundnuts will be high in aflatoxin. In fact, it's more than a fear. Many shipments have gone to Europe and been rejected or rejected at the Lagos port. So Aflasafe will revive some of these industries. So we see great benefits for farmers, for farm families, and for industries, including local industries and the export industry. So we heard a comment from Abdu about the vision of Dr. Sanginga, and we are delighted that as a team, all of those working with Aflasafe, and there are many, and they're in this room, I can't name all of them, have reached a point today where our dream of having this product marketed, manufactured, sold, training programs for farmers, etc. All those things that are important for Aflasafe to be successful are now riding on the shoulders of a group called Harvest, oh my gosh, what am I saying? HARVESTFIELD Industries Limited, sorry. So if you want to find the #1 supporter of HARVESTFIELDS Limited, it's Ken Daishio. I want them to become the richest people in Nigeria because they have sold they sold Aflasafe to millions and millions and millions of farmers. So I hope that, within, say, 3 or 4 years, I can call you on phone and say, hey, can you send your helicopter to Ibadan? I need a quick ride to Lagos. I just be there in half an hour. But honestly, that's the truth. We really are rooting for you to be hugely successful. Now, we don't say it's easy. If it was easy, this would have been done 20, 30, 40 years ago. It's not easy. We know that you face a lot of challenges, but we are confident that as Abdu, we had a huge process to find the best of the best of the best to do this. And we have confidence that you will do a great job. So this is really a monumental day for IITA, a great day for IITA, because we're going to sign this agreement, and it won't be long. Aflasafe will be in the hands of millions of farmers here in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ken. I would like to invite the Managing Director of HARVESTFIELD Limited for his remarks.
Thank you, Abdul. Ken, thank you very much. I welcome everyone here this afternoon to come and watch and be part of this milestone that has been achieved. And I want to assure IITA that this daughter that you have allowed us to marry, you shall never be disappointed. I know you are worried, you are concerned that your daughter may not be taken care of very well. That is Aflasafe. I want to assure you, HARVESTFIELD is in a familiar terrain. I remember, was it February last year when we visited here? We thought it was going to be an easy ride, but we never knew that it was going to be painstakingly selected. The selection process was not easy at all. I can tell you that. Wasn't easy at all. And when you are competing and you never knew who are your competitors, then it becomes very, very difficult. You never knew whether you are performing, whether you are doing the right thing, whether you are saying the right thing, but we never knew whom we were competing with. But there was something in us, and that is the resolute that we are going to win this bid, because HARVESTFIELD is known to do that. And we did one in year 2000, and that was during the rollback malaria. People thought that we could not achieve it, but we were the first and the only private sector that went into it when others didn't want to go into it. We went there, and as of today, HARVESTFIELD is still the #1 leading company providing long-lasting insecticide-treated nets to Nigerians nationwide. And we are still there till today. So let me come back home now. Why are we going for this? It's not only, definitely as a private sector, we want to make profit. But at the same time, we were not driven by the profit we were going to make from Aflasafe. We were driven by the health aspect that is concerned with the use of Aflasafe in Nigeria, the health hazard of aflatoxin. And that is part of our also vision. And HARVESTFIELD started in 2000. In 3 weeks' time, we are going to be 18 years old. 18 years old in Nigeria. And we set ourselves that we are going to be the leader in our chosen field. And what is our chosen field? The chosen field is to provide solution to farmers in Nigeria. Pure and simple. Solution. And Aflasafe is what? It's a solution. And that is what brought us to it. And we were transparent, we were open-minded, and we x-rayed ourselves to the selection committee. And I want to thank them for being just and sincere with the selection process. We proved ourselves to be the preferred winner. And why? Because we demonstrated that we have capacity, not only in the term of market, also in terms of resources and capacity. We have 18 field offices and warehouses in Nigeria. Just 2 weeks ago, we decided, because of Aflasafe, to increase it to 26 immediately, to make sure that we cover the nooks and crannies of Nigeria and make this product available to farmers at affordable prices that has been agreed. We are not going to change. We are going to implement the business plan to the letter. We are going to be transparent with it. And I can assure you at the end of the day, when you see your daughter next time, is going to have more children from IITA in terms of other products that you are going to ask us to handle. And we're already talking to Frederick on that. I seize this opportunity to thank the selection process who have worked assiduously in the last 1 year to get to where we are today. So thank you very much. You have been so wonderful. And of course, our MD there, sitting behind, when I first met him, I thought we were not going to have a friend in him. I never knew that we were going to convince him beyond this reasonable doubt. And that is Frederick. Please stand up for recognition. I thank you very much. You have been so wonderful and very supportive. And of course, our engineer there, Lawrence, I remember when we first came here, I thought that this issue will not be surmountable when he started taking us through the processes. But I assure you that we will convince you and we will succeed. And of course, our staff in HARVESTFIELD, I want to thank you because it was not easy, Ken. It was not easy. Day and night we were working. Every day we decide to go right, the next thing we will get is another from Abdul. It will throw us back into the drawing board, and then we have to go towards the tail. It wasn't easy. By the time we got to Senegal, we thought we have lost the bid. We landed in Ivory Coast. Was it Ivory Coast? We were waiting to connect flight to Senegal, and we were not going to win the bid. And when we got there, we could not sleep all day, all night until we made our presentation. But by the time we made the presentation, we knew that we are coasting to success. And we are not surprised that we are here today. So I want to thank HARVESTFIELD staff, Dr. Abdul. You are very good. We thank you very much. He was the brain behind of everything. And of course, our general manager, who has been with the company for the past 17 years, Mr. Oluwole Ilori, we thank you very much for being there for us. And this is a teamwork. And I will tell you, you gave us 5 years. This morning I was addressing the staff. Everybody was happy. Oh, we are going to Ibadan to sign. I said, yes, we are signing. But there are some assignments there. There are some landmines that we have to make sure we avoid so that our legs are not cut off. And that is the projection that we have to meet. 5 years ago, we met AgroHow in China, and we agreed that we were as a partner. And I can tell you today, within the space of 5 years together, we are building and commissioning the next 1 month a 3 billion naira agrochemical plant in Nigeria. And that is in Lagos. And some of us here have visited that plant within 5 years. So within 5 years of taking over this project from IITA, I can assure you that we are going to go places with it. You will be the one to be running after us with other successful products that we are going to handle. And I assure you that. I welcome you again. Thank you very much for being here. And I assure you our investment will continue in this project. Even our bankers are here, and they are supporting us. Wema Bank, two of them, Mr. Jide and Femi, they are here to support this project. And we have identified the bottleneck there, and that is the parking lot. We are expanding that with immediate effect. I can assure you, in the next 2 weeks, you are going to start seeing, jump-starting everything that we have agreed in the business plan. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Thank you, Martins. So now you still have a choice if you want to sign or not. Ken? Eh? Okay, so go ahead. It's a period. Now you can sign the document. So I think this step, I think they will sign the document and they will exchange it. The technology transfer licensing agreement. You can put your sign. Morinke will guide you. Yeah. You can exchange it. Thank you very much. So I give you the opportunity to walk away, but you agree to continue. So I have to, just to be sure that you have us on your neck. And you have to make sure that, because as I said, and you said it very rightly, if we cannot get this in the hand of farmers, I think all this decade of work of these scientists, I think Dr. Dashel said it. You have scientists, Dr. Ranajit, the whole team in Arizona, they work very hard. They want to see this product in the hand of farmers to address the public health issue. And also to make sure that we can improve the competitiveness of our product. So it's not a question that we sell product. We want to make sure that we are changing something in the life of the people. So be sure that you will have us on your neck. We are going to make sure that this happens. So again, thank you very much and congratulations. So I think I would like to give the floor for three people who want to make some remarks at this occasion. The first one is the Director of Nutrition at the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, who want to make a remark.
Good afternoon, everyone. here and being part of this August signing. I want to congratulate HARVESTFIELD. I congratulate you. And then the IITA. I met Ranajit. Last month we had a meeting in Lagos, the agri-results meeting. Because my staff went around last month creating awareness about this harvest, your product. And I took pictures from there. So at that meeting, I was showing them the picture. And somebody asked, what is the price? I said it. I told them the price. So what I want is, I want you to make it affordable for the farmers. Because the farmers were telling us this price is a little bit high for them. But when they get used to using it, I'm sure they will appreciate what the product is doing for them. It's a welcome development for Ministry of Agriculture and for the farmers. Because some farmers, one of the states we went, they said their products all went bad that year. And we want to avoid Nigerian products going out of the country and coming back rejected. So if you do your work very well, like IITA is saying, and give the price to the farmers, affordable, I'm sure we are getting somewhere. And then we'll get improved products, and that will be very, very, very important to Federal Ministry of Agriculture. So under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture is PACA. Nutrition. Under nutrition is PACA, the Partnership for Aflatoxin Control in Africa. So on that ground, please, the ministry, the nutrition division will be working closely with you to see that what you are giving out to the farmers is helping the farmers and to improve their products. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam. Thank you for these words. And there's also a unit from the Federal Ministry of Agriculture who really want to make a statement here. It's the National Quarantine Services of the Ministry of Agriculture. They have a special statement that they want to make up at this occasion. I think, Madam, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon, all. Standing on the existing protocol, please, I am Dr. Chinwe Ezejiofo. I am a consultant veterinary with Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service. I am here on behalf of my leader, Dr. Maimuna Habib, who is the head of Interministerial Committee on Mycotoxin Control on Agricultural Commodities. She was supposed to be here, but she's unavoidably absent. She had to go for another engagement that she must attend in person. The remark I'm going to make is exactly what she wrote and gave me to present. Now, Aflasafe is a baby of IITA, and all the field trials were done by IITA. And there's no record of any field trial done by any other organization in Nigeria. Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development inclusive. Before the registration of Aflasafe, some mycotoxicologists strongly advised that some field trials should be done forthwith by Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and other stakeholders to determine the efficacy of Aflasafe on prevention of contamination of crops by fungi. But it is unfortunate that up till now, the ministry and other stakeholders do not have record of any such data. I am the head of Interministerial Committee on prevention and control of mycotoxin on agricultural products. And altogether, with a former director of Federal Department of Agriculture, FDA. We are the coordinators of Partnership for Aflatoxin Control in Africa, PACA, pilot project at the ministry before the appointment of a country officer. I am a scientist, a fellow of the College of Veterinary Surgeons Nigeria, and did my PhD in prevention and control of mycotoxin in agricultural commodities. From a scientific point of view, there ought to be a record of some field trials in different parts of the country before the product can merit NAFDAC registration. But I'm surprised that NAFDAC went ahead and registered it, undermining the field trial with other stakeholders. Sincerely speaking, I opposed the introduction of Aflasafe into our agricultural practice without field trial. And because of my opposition, I was politically edged out as a coordinator of PACA pilot project in the ministry, who's supposed to work with the appointed PACA country officer. My removal as the coordinator of PACA pilot project did not cow me. Instead, I went ahead and consulted fellow reputable scientists in Nigeria and abroad and discussed the necessity or otherwise of the field trial by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture in view of the fact that the ministry will take the glory or blame of the impact of Aflasafe in Nigerian agriculture. Again, the ministry will play a strong role in extension services and sensitization of farmers on Aflasafe. All the scientists in one voice are on the same page with me. What we are after is what we impact positively on agricultural and food value chains with the resultant increase in the quality and quality of our products. In other words, it should have a level of economic advantage. We, the scientists, also observed that Nigeria does not have data on the types of fungi and mycotoxins, as well as data on dietary intake of mycotoxins. In order to know the geographical spread of fungi and mycotoxins, as well as the quality of our agricultural commodities, Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service, in collaboration with a lead researcher, Professor Anthony Macon of Federal University of Technology, Mina, who is also a GECFA scientist, is planning a national survey of 13 agricultural commodities across the 7 agroecological zones of Nigeria to map out the occurrence and distribution of mycotoxin in some selected agro-commodities. The selected agro-commodities are maize, rice, sesame, melon, sorghum, millet, groundnut, gari, elubo, dried fish, kilishi, beef, animal feed, milk, and other animal products. One of the expected outcomes from this work is creation of a national database for fungi and mycotoxins contaminating foods and feeds in Nigeria, which will enable the ministry to come up with policies. While we are planning for the survey, HARVESTFIELD informed us and other stakeholders at a forum that they are the sole marketers of Aflasafe in Nigeria and that they wish to collaborate with Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service to ensure that the product penetrates down to every farmer at the grassroots in view of the role of Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service in boosting agricultural produce for food safety and security in the country, as well as for international markets. Nigeria Agricultural Quarantine Service condition is simple. HARVESTFIELD must conduct the field trial and should involve relevant stakeholders in the trial. They accepted the condition and have, in collaboration with NHS, started to plan for the trial in some states. This process will also lead the team of researchers on the field trial to come up with some advice that could improve on the efficacy of Aflasafe as a biocontrol. HARVESTFIELD, therefore, employed me to be their ambassador for Aflasafe product. I am happy to be here today to openly declare to this forum that it is the outcome of the field trial that will determine my acceptance or otherwise of the role of Aflasafe ambassador. I want to sincerely thank the HARVESTFIELD for accepting to conduct a field trial with other relevant stakeholders before promoting the product in the country. Once the outcome of the trial and its impact on the users are satisfactory, we shall together promote Aflasafe to high heavens for the economic and health benefit of the end users. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you very much. This is a very important thing that we want also to bring into the discussion. There are different parties in the whole process of promotion of Aflasafe now coming together and to move forward. And I'm happy that you are going to, based on the data, to make sure that you can rally all the different parties to make sure that at the end of the day, it's going to be a consultative. Thank you very much for this thing from Madam Maimuna. I would like to invite the maize. Yes. Yeah, please, no, there's another statement, that is coming. I would like to call the maize, there's groundnut coordinator that want to make a statement before we move to the vote of thanks. Yes.
Thank you very much. My name is Dr. Adeleke Muftal, Maize Value Chain Desk Officer, Federal Ministry of Agric. I know the Managing Director of HARVESTFIELD has never seen me before, but I am a strong ambassador of HARVESTFIELD. There is no need for you to even look for anyone, because what you are trying to do is to assist my work. If you are assisting my work, and I so recognize it, what do you need another ambassador for? Any other ambassador that will come will just be a supporter. I'm very serious. And it is not because I'm running down somebody. It is because I've traveled wide on this important issue concerning aflatoxin in Nigeria. I've been to many of the African countries. I've been to Ethiopia. I've been to Zambia. I've been to Tanzania. We were together. Me and your Bole and Dr. Hassan. We were in the same hotel for about a week. And when I came back to Nigeria, I worked with USAID. And we went to Zaria for almost 2 weeks. Just to tell you that we have moved far, far beyond the level of thinking that there is need for testing. They are all the time, all this while, people have been conducting tests, even without without IITA. Independence of what IITA is even doing, independence of what our HARVESTFIELD is doing. And US, when it comes to the issue of food safety, they don't compromise. And they always open their door to find out what's next to do.
I can authoritatively inform you here that USID has supported a lot of private companies who are what we call people who off-takers. They provide state-of-the-art for testing aflatoxin. They have private farmers, even outgrowers that don't want to do any other thing than to have Aflasafe maize to identify with it. And you know, Kaduna State is the highest producer of maize. Right now, a larger percentage of farmers in that state are in tune with Aflasafe maize production because they are deriving more benefit in terms of returns. They have tagged their own maize as Aflasafe maize, maize green, Afla maize, safe maize green, and the other ones. They even write they are now producing bags that say Aflasafe maize green, and this is what companies that have been to some of these off-takers in Zaria. I've been to their company, and what do? They have outgrowers that they train on the use of Aflasafe. I think I told you, and even told Wale, please go there, you will see them. So you've been there. So this is to tell you that they are not waiting for any test again because they have known that this thing is working, and it's really working. And I want you to know that we want to, first of all, bridge the gap between demand and supply of maize grain. We have a very wide gap now. What we are producing, according to NARLS in 2012, is that we are producing 12.1 million metric tons of maize grain in Nigeria. But the demand is now 16.2 million metric tons. And coupled with the problem of armyworm that is ravaging maize farm, which is also opening chances of being infested with aflatoxin, you know, we cannot just play with this Aflasafe. The best thing is for us to adopt it wholeheartedly. And that is why myself, in the Ministry of Agric, and my friend, Mr. Raji of Granot, came up with a memo. And thank God it was accepted. Before the IITA came and discussed with us, and we presented the problem of this aflatoxin, they said, okay, no problem. We have this product. And we wrote the memo. It was accepted by the minister. And, you know, we have a lot of these things being distributed to our stores. And what we ask you people to do is to just create awareness and let farmers take it. So as far as the issue of testing is concerned, both private and public outfits are already doing it for you. And the aspect that matters most now is the awareness, creation, and availability. And I'm assuring you, the Federal Ministry of Agric will be your first customer to procure more of this Aflasafe, because we have a program that is called zero reject. There is no way we can have zero reject to our commodities without thinking of how to eradicate aflatoxins. And the use of Aflasafe comes handy to do this. So we are your ambassador, myself, and Mr. Walira. And Mr. Araji, and you know my deputy director is here, is in food and nutrition. And thank God, we now have it's a unit, but it's very strong to us. It's like a department. That's Parker. We have Madam Parker. We are so close in the ministry. And by Wednesday, this testing they are talking about, the African Union has sunk a lot of investment into it. By Wednesday or Thursday, we'll be all over the country taking samples that we showcase what they are talking about instead of waiting for just somebody in one corner telling us that if you don't do it, nothing will move. The Federal Minister of Agric, and indeed in Nigeria as a country, with the support of African Union, is already doing that one for you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think it is really, to have a different kind of statement, remarks, different views. And at the end of the day, I think you have a big role to play. How do we mobilize all the parties to make sure that you convince within the value chain, between the different actors, the service provider, to ensure that, yes, you have a product that can really solve a solution. The awareness creation is not just about farmers. So it's really important that you take this seriously. I think we don't want to take much time here because it's taking long. I would like to, the DG want to give the vote of thanks, but after the 8th March, I cannot close it without giving the mic to the lady. That is really, asking for a while. So, yes, yeah. Please come. I'm sure that there will be a lot of passion, but please, can we make it short?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I wish to also stand on the existing protocol. My name is Dr. Aye Mudashir. I'm from the NAFDAC, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control. Now, I know really I'm not supposed to be here to make this remark, but after hearing Madam's speech, I think I needed to shed a bit more light on NAFDAC's role in terms of Aflasafe. Now, I'm sure it's a pity Dr. Ranajit is not here. Dr. Ranajit was like, let me say, was it like, it was like a thorn in our flesh when we started when we wanted to register Aflasafe. I think the registration of Aflasafe in NAFDAC, I think it took us almost like maybe 4 years or 5 years. So because I remember the very first time he came and he met my director, and we had a meeting with him, and he talked about Aflasafe. I'm sure you will all agree with me that the moment you hear the stories of Aflasafe, you're immediately drawn to what Aflasafe can do. And so my director immediately called for a meeting that we should have a committee set up to actually see if this product and all that. Because the essence is for us to actually say, is this product safe? Is it going to be efficacious? It was very, very important result. And I'm very happy, I'm quite to see my former boss here in the audience with us today. The former director of NAFDAC, she used to be the director of laboratory service. She just retired some few months. No, yet not tired. So because on our own again, Dr. Ranajit was another turn. Please, Mrs. Denloye. So Dr. Ranajit again was another turn in our flesh, because the moment he leaves registration is going to the lab, because you have to go through registration and then you have to pass laboratory test. So he was in between the both of us, and that is why I'm so happy that Madam is here today, because anywhere they call us, she's always there, and she's always talking about what the tests and all those things that they have done in the lab. So I'm here today basically so that Madam can have a take-home message. NAFDAC did not just give a NAFDAC registration number to Aflasafe. We didn't do that. The stress we put Aflasafe, Dr. Ranaji, to, for a moment, we thought he was practically living with the security at the gate. Because at times he was in short knicker, right? Before we come to work, he was already there. So we did a lot to ensure that we were getting the right product, ensuring that the safety, the effectiveness of this product, we can say yes. You can certify that yes, this product will actually say what it's going to do. So I just want to let Madam know what we did, our role, what we played with Aflasafe. We didn't just give it a number. It wasn't a 1-year thing. It was, I told you, it was a 4 years. And then we had to make sure that even the trial was for 2 cropping seasons. So it was a first-year season, it was a second-year season before we actually gave. And even when we gave the NAFDAC registration number, I'm sure Madam will remember correctly, it was a provisional NAFDAC registration number. And a provisional NAFDAC registration number just basically will let you know that we're still running trial, and in case something goes wrong, this number will be taken away from you. And after we did our test, and then, of course, all the pharmacovigilance and surveillance and all those things, no feedback from the farmers that they weren't happy with the product. They were happy with the product, and that was why they came back, and we gave them a 5 years registration. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm sure that those who, Dr. Ken asked if you know anything about aflatoxin of afla. Today, you receive like education, like a course about Aflasafe, the story, and everything. So I think, thank you very much. I would like to invite the DG of IITA for the vote of thanks, and so that from there we will see better good things. You know.
Yeah, well, I believe that democracy is really good, and I was quite happy that you raised those points, and you are telling us not to sleep and to continue doing a great job so you can be satisfied, most likely. We'll start by thanking you, MD. We love our daughter. And we've given her to you, and you promise you're going to take good care of her. Have more children. I would like to propose one to you. I think the brother of Aflasafe is called Nodumax. You are there already. He's the firstborn. Yeah, our colleague from NAFDAC, I think you're right, because it was not easy for me as well to convince my board that we needed to embark on this long road. It took us almost 3 years. They were asking all kind of difficult questions, and we had to prove the way we're proving it to NAFDAC. We had to prove it to our board too. I think, so we continue probably questioning all the products we have until they become routine. And I want to tell you a story on how we came to the point of building this factory here, and you might be interested in this. So our scientists spend a lot of time doing research, and as we do, you get probably good results, and you test them at a small scale. And here, this is when I was still DG elect. Bill Gates was visiting IITA in Kano, and I want to see some of the work we were doing. And of course, IITA had very good results on Aflasafe on a small experimental field, and the Nodumax, the same. And basically, we're working maybe with 10, 20, or maximum 100 farmers, 2, 3, 4 hectares. And when I met with him, we all as a scientist, very excited about the result we're getting. And he called me, I remember very well, in Kano, in our station. And said, here, you are going to be the next DG. So what you're doing here seems to be good, but you're reaching only 100, 200 people. Can you give me a plan on how you reach 1 million of farmers? That was the question. And he said, think about it. And in 2 weeks' time, send me a proposal. So we work with the team, Ranajit and so on, we sent a proposal. And what the proposal was to build this factory here and start producing Aflasafe at a commercial level. So we did this. And my board said, okay, you will be evaluated only the day we will get a private sector taking this factory and own it and start distributing and commercializing its products. So, coming basically to sign this memorandum of understanding here today means that as IITA, we have finished our job almost, at least on this product. So I would like to thank you very much for trusting basically IITA in that. I would like to thank our colleague from NAFDAC as well. Madam, thank you very much, and well, I understand she was part of that, because those were not the easiest procedure that someone goes through. So, I'm thanking people, but I would like to give you an example of what is happening in Kenya and what happened in Kenya. So, Madam, you will understand sometime agriculture, the way we're doing it, there's no social activities. There are a lot of pains sometimes people go through. So almost every year in Kenya, almost 200 people die because of aflatoxin. There is a place where it's called Ukambani, and our colleagues here from Kenya can talk about that. The level of aflatoxin is that even children, and they made a survey of most of the cancer, 90% of the cancers in Kenya are due to aflatoxin. And taken in maize, basically not eating, you eat it in the form of fufu, and that's the situation. And it was a very serious situation that the President Kenyatta had one time, that in Nigeria there is a solution for aflatoxin. And one of his visits here in Abuja, he asked President Jonathan, and he said, well, here you have a solution for aflatoxin. And my friend was then a minister, Desina, is called by President Jonathan and say, well, where do we get? And of course, Desina has been here and has visited this factory. He called me. I took a plane to go to Abuja to explain to President Kenyatta what aflatoxin, Aflasafe was. And I explained it in Swahili. So he speaks Swahili, I speak Swahili. So I had to speak it in my mother tongue so he can understand very well. You know, because the problem is so serious, and if you are a serious leader, you want to resolve problems, you don't wait for so long and so on. It took him 2 months, and we got the first delegation of the Kenyans, ministries and so on, come to examine what was happening here. And 1 month we're airlifting Aflasafe from here to Kenya. Lawrence can explain that very well. Now they are building this factory. We built it in Kenya and started producing. So what I'm saying here, Nigeria, when Nigeria shows the way in a lot of things can happen in Africa. I believe taking this lead that you've taken today me, is a major step which is going to help not only Nigeria, but helping Tanzania, Congo, in all these places where this aflatoxin is really a major problem. So I would like to thank you for really taking this step. Thank everybody who's here to this celebration today. And let's keep working, keep pushing agriculture as much as we can push it. And I have to say, that's probably the only thing we still have probably in Africa where we can make some gains. It's not going to be oil in any case, not any longer. So thank you for coming, and let's go and have a cocktail and celebrate. And Madam, it was very good that you raise those points. I hope you're going to convince your minister. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And I think we'll invite you to upstairs and for a cocktail and also to interact. I think we can continue some discussions. You know, I think there are a lot of things to say. So I think I will just invite maybe Dr. Ken Dashiell Martins to stay here to have an interaction with the media and, you know, before we join the rest of the crew. Okay, thank you. Thank you again. Chichi will direct you to the cocktail, you know. No, this one is this one is Stella. Stella. I completely forgot to call you. Oh, you know, I have it